not this, not that. That's what Neti-Neti means. Not this, not that. Who am I? What am I? Not this, not that. Not this, not that. This and that refer to, in this context, refers to objects. I'm not this object, I'm not that object, I'm not this object, I'm not that object. Neti-Neti, Neti-Neti. What am I? Oh, my hand? That's not what I am. No. My thoughts? No, that's not what I am. The car? No, that's not what I am. Any object that arises? No, that's not what I am. Neti-Neti, Neti, that's not what I am. Not this, not that. Now notice that when you say Neti-Neti or not this, not that, it's the mind saying Neti-Neti. So Ramana makes this point. He says, when you do Neti-Neti, you can only do so up to the mind. He's talking about the teaching of the 5 sheaths, the Pancha-Koshas. Let me see if I can remember the 5 sheaths. I should know them by now, right? I've been doing this for long enough. First sheath is the physical body, gross body, Annamaya Kosha. Second sheath is the energy body, Pranamaya Kosha. Third sheath is the mental sheath or the emotional sheath, Mana Maya Kosha. Fourth sheath is the intellectual sheath, or I think of it more as the doer, the ego, Vijnana Maya Kosha. Jnana means knowledge, Vijnana kind of means knowledge as well, but this is the knowledge of I am the body mind, the doer, the ego. And the fifth sheath is the bliss sheath, Ananda Maya Kosha. This is all illusion, Maya. And what Ramana is saying is this fourth sheath here, Vijnana Maya Kosha, is the mind, the intellect. And it's this sheath, the doer, the ego, this is the ego, this fourth sheath. This ego is saying, Neti-Neti, Neti-Neti. So the ego can only negate that which is coarser than it, which is the 3 below it. So it can say, I'm not the body, the gross body. It can say, I'm not the Pranamaya Kosha, which is the energy body. Just to explain to you what that means in normal everyday experiential terms. Sometimes you wake up, you feel vital, vibrant, you've got a kick in your step, you feel joyous, you're full of energy. This is your Pranamaya Kosha. Another day you wake up, you feel sluggish, you feel tired, you feel exhausted. This is your Pranamaya Kosha. This is your energy body feeling depleted. And then when you feel full of energy, full of beans, sprightly, this is your Pranamaya Kosha, full of energy, full of beans. Okay. Pranamaya Kosha is the life force, the prana, chi, prana that runs through you, the animating force, what some people call life. Oh, I am one with life. Yeah? The energy of life, that animating power. In the body, it manifests as prana maya kosha, according to Vedanta. So you can say, yes, I am not the gross body, I'm not the organs and the physical body. I'm not even the energy in the body, I feel really alive. Sometimes you might think, I feel so alive, I feel so full of joy. That is illusion. That is pranamaya kosha. I feel exhausted, I feel tired. That's pranamaya kosha. Okay? So the neti-neti mind can say, no, I'm not the body. I'm not the gross body. I'm not annamaya kosha. I'm not pranamaya kosha. And it can say, I'm not the feelings, the manamaya kosha. Yeah? I'm not the emotions. Because you've got 2 kind of mind sheaths. You've got the manamaya kosha, which is the lower one, and you've got vijnanamaya kosha, which I call the ego. You can call it the lower mind and the higher mind if you want. If you're aware of your thoughts, there might be a thought in your head that says, oh, I can see the thoughts. That thought in your head that says, I can see the thoughts, is your higher mind, in quotes. It's like a part of your mind that is that seemingly removes itself from the mind and observes the rest of the mind. So it's the part of the mind that looks at your feelings, says, oh yes, I'm feeling happy. Oh yes, I'm feeling sad. Oh yes, I'm feeling angry. Oh, I'm thinking about this. Oh, I'm thinking about that. So there's a higher part of your mind, as it were, that pretends to be the observer of the other mental phenomena, that pretends to be the doer, you see. So you've got these feelings and the lower thoughts, let's say, which is the mana maya kosha. And the vijnana maya kosha, the ego, can say, oh yes, I'm not those thoughts, I'm not those feelings, but it itself is a thought. The vijnana maya kosha is the idea, I am the body-mind, I am a doer, I am a thinker. And Ramana says, neti-neti, done with the mind, you can only negate as far as vijnana maya kosha. Does that make sense? So basically, it can negate. You can say, I'm not the body. You can say, I'm not the lower mind. Or you can say, I'm not the body. I'm not the energy body. I'm not the lower mind, the feelings, and the lower thoughts. But it can't say I'm not the doer, or it can. But it can't fully negate the idea it's the doer, because it is what it's trying to negate. Does that make sense? So then you get stuck with neti-neti. How do you negate the doer? When it's the doer that's trying to do the negating. You cannot. So Ramana says neti-neti is useful up to a point, but neti-neti is not self-inquiry. Again, this is explained in the Path of Sri Ramana Part 1. And Sri Sadhu Ram, who wrote the Path of Sri Ramana Part 1, quotes extensively from Ramana to explain this point. And I've also done a blog post on this as well, that self-inquiry is not neti-neti, on tundas.com, which you can look up. Now, neti-neti is the way, but how to do it, how to negate those final two sheaths that we have left. The vijnana maya kosha, which is the ego sheath, the higher mind, and ananda maya kosha, which is the bliss sheath. Just to make clear, the bliss sheath is I'll just say it. It's when the vijnana maya kosha, the ego, is attached to the feeling of happiness and bliss. So you might be in a deep meditation and you feel blissful, and the ego goes, ooh, I like that. I really like that. I want to stay here. And the ego's there, attaching itself to bliss. This is called ananda maya kosha. Now, Ramana gives us a very, very wonderful teaching about ananda maya kosha, which is, I don't know if it's there in the traditional scriptures at all. It is kind of there, but it's very difficult to find. But he tells us that the ananda maya kosha is actually the self. Because when the ego loses attachment to this bliss becomes just your nature, yourself. Most of the intellects who have an intellectual approach to Vedanta teachings, they won't teach this. But because Ramana had a genuine experience of the teachings that Vedanta point to, he was able to tell you the true meaning of the Vedanta scriptures. And if you read the Vedanta scriptures, in light of Ramana's teachings, they make much more sense. It's just like some people, maybe someone is a Christian and they learn about Vedanta, and this brings their Christianity to life. You can reinterpret your Christian faith in the light of the Vedanta teachings. Similarly, we can reinterpret the Vedanta teachings in light of Ramana's teachings, which are so eloquent, and bring to life all traditions, all religions, all true spiritual traditions. Ramana's teachings bring all these things to life. So how do we negate these last two sheaths? Which is basically the same as negating Vijnana Mahakosha. How do we negate the ego, the doer, this higher mind that claims to be a doer and a thinker? Well, it's through self-inquiry. When we go towards the self, we are actually negating, who am I? We tend to the self, we let go of the doer, we tend to the being, the beingness that we are. We're actually negating Vijnana Mahakosha. This is the true meaning of Neti-Neti. Neti-Neti means, the true deeper meaning of Neti-Neti is self-inquiry. It is not to say, not this, not that, not this, not that. Because then you're just identifying as Vijnana Mahakosha, ego, doer, higher mind. You're saying, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, but you are identifying as the body, as the mind. You're saying, I'm not the body, I'm not the energy body, I'm not the gross body, I'm not those thoughts, I'm not those feelings. But you're thinking all these things, so you're looking to these thoughts to guide you. So you are still identified with thinking. So the true Neti-Neti, the true meaning, the deeper meaning of Neti-Neti is self-inquiry. And many people in the Vedanta world have not realized this, and they're just doing it from the mind. And Ramana points out the flaw in that. He says, this is not self-inquiry proper. This is not what the Vedas, the Upanishads are teaching. This is a ego version of the teachings that allows the ego to continue itself. What Neti-Neti really means is to turn away from objective phenomena, turn away from Maya, abide as the self. And maybe you've seen a part of this in your own practice. When you go into self, you're letting all these sheaths fall away. And Ananda Mahakosha, which according to traditional Vedanta is illusion, it's part of Maya. That is actually what becomes the self. Ananda Mahakosha is what we experience in deep sleep. According to traditional Vedanta, in the waking and the dream states, all 5 sheaths are there. Well, actually, the way they might say it is, in the waking state, you've got 5 sheaths. In the dream state, the physical body is not there, because it's all a projection in the mind. So you've just got the 4 states, the 4 sheaths or the 3 sheaths, depending if you think pranamaya koshas are part of the physical body or not. And then in the deep sleep, you've lost, of the 5 sheaths, you've lost 4 of them, and you've only got an Anandamaya kosha left, which is why it feels blissful. But it's still ignorant, still part of Maya, and all the 5 koshas are part of Maya. So they say you have to get rid of Anandamaya kosha too. Whereas Bhagavan Ramana teaches us, yes, you have to go beyond all that bliss stuff as well. But then you discover that the happiness that you feel is actually the self. Which is exactly what we find in the Upanishads as well. The Upanishads tell us this too. This is what I mean. When you listen to Ramana's teachings, it brings to life all the other teachings, all the other true spiritual teachings. It brings them all to life. So again, true meaning of Neti-Neti. The true way to negate the Pancha-Koshas. Pancha means 5. Pancha-Koshas means sheaths, the coverings. The real way to do Neti-Neti is through self-inquiry.